Good afternoon, everyone. How's everyone doing today? Friday. This is our second live show of the week. We've got a monster 14-game slate. Unfortunately, the pitching is not that great. So for anyone that was looking at, fading or, getting hurt by those top price pitchers, we don't have to worry about them tonight because there really isn't any. We're going to get into that here shortly. For anyone that is new, not a patron or not a DFSR member, I'm going to go over that real quick as well. Before we get in, I've got a free roll today. We've got $50 Fanatics gift card, e-gift card emailed to you to the winner of the free roll. All you got to do is be on this live show. I'm going to share the link to that on DraftKings here very shortly. If you are a Patreon, I will also double that and give you a $100 gift card on there as well. So if you're not a patron, you're watching right now, you want to go get signed up, I'm going to flip over to that, and I'm going to show you how you can do that. We'll actually go full screen here. So this is my Patreon, patreon.com/JagerBombs. We cover 13 different sports right now. We've got a team of 4 guys, myself, Dane, Kenny, and Ryan, to cover all the sports. We obviously, we've got multiple people for each sport as well, so we cover that. Here is a list of some of the sports that we cover. So we've got UFC. We've got a big fight coming this weekend, the McGregor fight. Kenny covers that, and he's been absolutely crushing that. Me and Dane are covering the PGA. NBA, Kenny and Dane have been really crushing that as well. And the prices you see are Canadian, and they are monthly. For Americans, that is $10 per month for one sport, $20 for all sports. MLB package, tennis package, NASCAR package. We cover all 3 series there. We also cover college football, college basketball. We've got NFL coming up here in a few months as well. League of Legends, we cover LEC, LCS, LPL, and LCK. CFL coming soon. Ryan's going to be covering that. NHL has just kind of wrapped up here, so that'll be back next season. Soccer with the Euro 2020, Euro 2021 over here. We got one more match. Then we will be getting back into the Champions League and the European League as well. And then you can get all sports for $27 Canadian or $20 American. And if you sign up for a yearly subscription, those are all options as well. You get a 16% discount. So it's pretty much you get 2 months for free for signing up for the year. All of that also gives you access to a Discord channel. It looks like this. We've got channels set up for all of the different sports. We've got news channels. We've got sports betting channels. We've got all of that. So make sure to get over to patreon.com/JagerBombs and sign up. And if you get signed up here right away and win the free roll, I will double that prize, which will be a $100 Fanatics gift card to you to get all your sports memorabilia. All right. So back to me here. Let's go this view. Mike, Travis, how's it going, guys? Thanks for joining in. I really do appreciate it. I will be sharing the free roll here shortly as well for anyone that's just jumping in and watching. Anyone can join the free roll. It's $50, and it will be a e-gift card to Fanatics. And if you are a Patreon, I will double that prize, and it will be a $100 gift card if you win and you are a patron as well. So come check us out over at patreon.com/JagerBombs. With that, let's jump into tonight. Just jump over here, jump into the sheet. So I'm going to go over some pitchers. I'm going to go over some stacks that I like. I know there's 2 lineups. I believe Seattle and New York just came in. When I started the show, I'm going to try and maybe enter those as we go here, but I want to make sure I get over the picks first and foremost, and neither of those teams is really at the top of my list tonight. So first of all, like I said, the pitching, really not that great. We got Charlie Morton going up against Miami. His price has really come up. We've been using him as like a nice value mid-tier option, between 7 and 8,300 for the last couple, 4 or 5 starts for him. With his price tonight, and a lot of these guys priced, like seeing Odorizzi at 10K, Morton at 96, Alex Cobb at 98, who's been a roller coaster this season, is relative to the slate and the options that are here. So keep that in mind. But Morton is number 1 in my model. I definitely like him, but my number 1 tonight is Taiwan Walker. Was on him last night before the postponement. He's only 9K. He's the highest in my projections here. Mid 9K on FanDuel. So he's my number 1 pitcher overall, minus 200 favorite. The game has a very low total of 8. Yeah, blurry screen. I know my internet has been struggling. They were going through some updates. Of course, this afternoon, about an hour ago, they started. I thought they would be over by now, but I'm hoping it is resolved here as the show goes on. But so Taiwan Walker, number 1. Charlie Morton, number 2. If you're paying up, double pay up might be actually a little bit contrarian tonight, just simply because we've got Kenta Maeda and Alek Manoah, who are both underpriced here, down in the $7,000 range. I'm just going to go back here. Yes. Okay. So we got Maeda going up against Detroit. That's a really good matchup. Huge favorite. So he's got a lot of win potential here tonight. And we'll scroll over and look at some of the stats. Detroit has just been striking out like 26% versus righties and 27% over the last 7 days, 27% on the season. So Maeda, in my opinion, would be my top SB2, followed by Alek Manoah. I think I'd like to mix him in if I was doing 3 max and 20 max. He would be someone that I would mix in because I do like Maeda a little bit more for cash. The matchup is just a lot better. I know Manoah is coming off his best start of his rookie season here, career start, obviously 10 Ks against this Tampa team last time out, but Tampa is one of the top offenses, one of the top teams in the league. So the win expectation isn't as good here. He's an underdog, plus 117 right now. I just updated these odds before we got going. So Maeda for cash, and then Manoah I would be mixing in as a GPP pivot down here as well. And when you do that and mix one of these 2 guys with one of these top guys, it really leaves you a lot of room. We'll go over here. This is the free roll for tonight, and I'm going to share that here right now with you guys, and you guys can start filling it up. There it is. Okay, so the free roll's been shared. Make sure to go check that out. Again, if you are not a member of our Patreon, go over, sign up. Check us out. As cheap as $10 a month for just baseball if you want to go that route, $20 a month for all sports. That gets you into today's free roll where you can win up to $100. We're going to be having a lot more of these free rolls, probably 2 a month, and then I've got another plan coming. I don't want to release too much about that, but it's going to be a multi-sport type free roll contest going with monthly prizes, weekly prizes, that sort of thing. So a lot more details to come, but for now, I've got this free roll for you guys today, $50 to the winner, $100 if you are a patron. So now that we've got the DraftKings open here, I want to take a little look. I'm going to span that a little bit. I'm going to throw in these pitchers here. So first of all, we got Morton up there. I want to go with Walker and Maeda. And if you go that route, obviously, yeah, you're left 4,237 average, which is absolutely awesome. You can now go and target almost any team. You don't have to worry about salary here. And as we jump and transition into that here, into the team stacking tab, and this is how on these live shows, I'm really trying to go through the process that I go through when I'm trying to nail down my core teams, my core pitchers. For this show, as well as the Monday show, my picks and the sheet are up the night before because I'm writing the article for DFSR. So make sure to go check that out as well over at dfsr.com. You can see my article for today. It's going to cover a lot of the picks that I'm going to talk about here, but the sheet is up the night before. So this is when I put in my research. So when you see these highlighted plays on the show, I'm going to try and go through the exact route that I go through when I'm looking at those picks the night before. So obviously I started pitching and see kind of how the slate shapes up. So right now it just tells me that we can pretty much target any of the bats. So jumping over to team stacking. And if you guys got any questions along the way about anything on the sheet that you see, stats-wise, player-wise, team-wise, rankings, weather ratings, park factors, anything at all, just bring it up in chat, throw it out there. I will make sure to answer all your questions along the way as well. So jumping in here, looking at the top stacks, I'd like to go over and just look at it. So I have the opponent pitcher up here and his stats along with the team as well. So Minnesota, number 1, going up against Matt Manning. As you can see, through 4 starts, he's got a 7.94 ERA. He's been a little bit better, two runs better, but still at a 5.82 xFIP. Walking a lot of guys, giving up a lot of hits. Not a lot of home runs so far, but just it's a really good matchup for both sides of the plate. I guess it would be a little bit better for righties, but Minnesota is the first team that I'm looking at. We're going to jump over there real quick. And we got Aries at the top, really cheap, 3,425, high on base percentage guy. So I really like him in the leadoff spot. He would be definitely a play in all formats. I wrote him up last night in my article as well. We got Josh Donaldson, more of a GPP play at 5,300, 3,100 on DK. I don't think we need to go there for cash games. We obviously can if we want to. So a lot of value here. I'm targeting Cruz a little bit more in GPP, just simply because I look to him more in cash versus left-handed pitching. So this isn't exactly going to be a core team in terms of cash games, but there are some one-offs here if you are looking for that value and big bats. But my own personal top play tonight is Chicago. They are actually fifth. Oh, look at that. We got 7 teams projected for 5 or more runs tonight. So it's definitely an offensive show. So that is awesome to see that we have all this value pitching to tie it all together. So the White Sox are number 1 for me. Tim Anderson and Juan Moncada are definitely 2 guys that I'm going to try and fit in for cash. And if we just go throw them in here at third base and shortstop, they're both over 5K. But like I said, you can now go towards a team and you can grab these bats. I'm going to show you what I like about Chicago the most. You don't exactly need both of these for cash, but you can definitely go a 4-player stack with Chicago very, very easy. Not necessarily with Abreu, but I really like this value down here. Adam Engel is back from injury. He is underpriced for a starting center fielder, hitting 5th in a plus matchup here, 3K and 2K. So if you need a punt play tonight, or that one-off, if you're not using Chicago, Adam Engel is definitely on my list. And to, go with some sequence and some correlation with this Chicago stack, you can either go very expensive at the top and get these 3 guys. Going to be tough. Or you can go like an Anderson, Moncada. You can skip over Abreu maybe and go Goodwin, Engel, and Garcia for your 5. You could go Moncada, Abreu, Goodwin, Engel. There's a lot of ways to go here because there is a lot of value. But number 1 for value would be Engel. Number 1 overall play is Anderson. 2 would be Moncada, and then 3 would be Abreu, but he's going to be GPP only. I won't be looking to him in cash games tonight. So Chicago is definitely on my radar, and I'm going to throw Engel in here, which gives us the 1-2 punch. Chicago at the top of the lineup. Very expensive, but in a plus matchup. And then we get Engel, who's very, very cheap. So it gives us 3 Chicago. If you want to go more, that's fine. But I like in cash games, especially on these bigger slates, to kind of pick out 3 or 4 teams and try and get like a 3-3-2 type build, or something like that, even like a 3-2-2-2, even get exposure to 4 teams. But generally, I like to keep it 3. And if I was going with 3 players off Chicago in cash games, would be where I would go. It still leaves you an average of 4K. We can now go and punt catcher if we want, and that's something I will do in cash games quite a bit. If you're not punting catcher in cash games, you can definitely go with like the White Sox. Just bring that up here. Well, we'll just go over to starting lineups. Get rid of that. Manny Pena has been decent lately. It's only a 7 plate appearances, so that's like 2 games. Decent versus lefties. He's got power versus lefties. He's only 3,100, so that makes a little bit of sense if you want to go that route. If you want to go even cheaper, I don't mind Pedro Severino, who's plus. He doesn't have a lot of power against lefties, but he has a 112 WRC plus and a 334 WOBA against lefties, and I will take that from a min price catcher. Pedro Severino would be my top punt play here at catcher tonight. There's just no reason to pay up in cash games. So, 2,100, that all of a sudden, let's just throw him in here and see what this gives us. And I like to build this on the way to show you how I go ahead and build. I'm playing. So lately I've been kind of struck with some bad luck. I don't know. It's one of those situations where my player pool has been doing good, but I'm only playing 1 lineup a night. So if I don't get the right pieces together, I've been missing cash by like 2 points, 4 points, 3 points, 0.6 points the other night. If I would have, put my player pool in 20 max, I had to have a better chance to take things down. I just don't have the time. So my single entry, you can get burned that way, obviously. So if you're multi-entry, I like that. Even 3 max, getting that in there, especially on these big slates, just because there's so many teams that we want to get exposure to, and it seems like you just miss 1 or 2 pieces and you're out with how high scoring the slates have been here this season. It's been absolutely insane. Like I said, there's 7 games tonight alone that have teams projected for 5 or more runs, and that's just absolutely incredible. All right, so that's a pretty solid build for cash games right there. That's probably my favorite build right now. So let's just dive into a few more teams that we can maybe get exposure to for cash games. We'll jump back to the team stacking tab. FanDuel is going to be about the same. If we go over here, I'm definitely not paying Manoah the top price. I don't mind Walker at 9,500. This is a situation where on FanDuel, I am really inclined to just go in with my 8 at 7,300 in cash games. He's got a plus matchup. He's been better lately. Like if we go look at his game log here, coming off a great start versus Kansas City. He finally went into the sixth inning, completed 6 innings, only gave up 2 hits, 10 strikeouts. He got the win, the quality start, 58 points. I'm not expecting that. I'm looking more for like this 5 innings, 4 to 6 strikeouts, couple earned runs, like this 25 to 35 range. And at 7K, 7,300 on FanDuel, that's how I'm building. That leaves you 3,400. If you want to go White Sox now over on FanDuel, and I want to cover both sites with this. So Tim Anderson is really, his price has come up on DraftKings, super underpriced, still over on FanDuel at 3,300. Just look at his game log. 4 hits, 1 hit, 3 hit, 2 hit. I think he's got hits in 10 straight, bunch of multi-hit efforts. The power is starting to come along. He's got 3 doubles in his last 4 games. He's a little lacking on home runs, but he is a world-class hitter. He's already won a batting title in his career. He's leading off. He's in a plus matchup. He's only 3,300 on FanDuel. So this is where I would definitely. Oh, and Moncada's only 2,700. Like, this is definitely the route. If you wanted to go 3 and get Abreu in there, I think you can totally do that tonight over on FanDuel and just go the top 3. If I could spell right, this would go a lot better. He's only 3,500. There you go. Look at that. So now you've got 3,600 average with Maeda and 1, 2, 3 in the Chicago lineup. That's amazing. So now let's go back. Look at the next team on the list is Boston. Boston gets plus matchup versus Vince Velasquez. If we go look at Velasquez, he can be good at times. He can look like a world beater, and some nights, you stack against him and you think, wow, if I just would have stacked with him, he got 10 Ks or whatever, 8, 9 Ks. He's a world beater. Like this 32 points versus Miami was awesome. But look at these other starts. He's given up 3+ earned runs in 3 of his last 4. Not a lot of hits though here, but this is Boston. He's been facing like Miami. He kind of had a rough time versus San Diego, rough time versus Washington. So I do like Boston here. They're second in implied runs tonight. We'll go look at their lineup here real quick. That's jumping over to Minnesota. We will scroll up and over. So leading off, we got Kiki Hernandez. His price has come up, so I'm not looking at him in cash games. To be honest, I'm probably going to move Boston into the GPP only range for me, just because I like Chicago so much, and you've seen how they fit. I really like the 1, 2, 3 and the 1, 2, 5 over on DraftKings, 1, 2, 3 on FanDuel, like I showed you up here. I'm definitely into that as my top play, but Boston's in here. I don't like Devers. His price is up and he's hitting 5th. So that's a little bit concerning. He is playing at an MVP caliber right now. But for cash games, these guys are just so expensive. If there's anyone that I would, consider if you're looking for just that one-off piece for cash games and want to have a little bit of Boston exposure, I do like Alex Verdugo batting second. We get a lefty versus Velasquez. I believe if we go look at Velasquez and scroll over, he's actually been decent against lefties. He's been worse against righties. So keep that in mind. The top 3 of the top 4 in the Boston lineup here are righties. I'm just really not into that price. I'd rather just pay up for Tim Anderson over Kiki Hernandez for a leadoff hitter. Not that they're at the same position at all. I'm just saying. Same with Bogarts. I'd rather have Tim Anderson leading off than Bogarts. So this would be more of a GPP pivot off of my top teams, simply because I like Minnesota. Chicago's number 1. I like Minnesota. I'm probably going to, just as we're live here, change Boston to GPP only, kind of as like struggling here. All right. Probably going to fit just because the money, again, San Diego faces Kyle Freeland. He's been decent lately. Don't get me wrong. This is another guy I wanted to go show you the game logs for as it brings it up. So he's been decent lately, as you can see. If you go look, 0 earned runs, 0 earned runs, 1 earned run, just go take away like the opponent. Well, that was against St. Louis, Pittsburgh, and Seattle. Those are all bottom 5, bottom 10 offenses overall. So take that with a grain of salt. 2 of those were at home. So, some people may avoid this situation just because of that. I'm not. San Diego is a high-powered offense. Last time he faced San Diego, they destroyed him. 5 earned runs and 9 hits over 3 2/3. He didn't even make it out of the 4th inning. He only gave up 4 ground balls, so it could have been actually worse. He only gave up 4 fly balls, and 2 of them went for home runs. So I'm really into San Diego tonight. Prices are insane, but I believe their lineup is in. We'll just go over and double check here real quick. No, it is not. I'm actually just going to check the site on my other screen here. It is not in. So Yankees in Seattle is in. San Diego is not in yet. But it looks, I don't think it's going to change. But we may see Ha-Sung Kim come in the 7th spot. Victor Caratini looks like he's going to be catching tonight. So we'll have to wait and see how that turns out here. But we got Pham at the top. I really do like that. He's been good. League average versus lefties, 106, so 6% above league average, I guess you could say. Some strikeouts here at the top of the order. Tatis, they strike out a little bit, but I mean, 6,300 for Tatis is getting up there. But he wouldn't be my cash pick out of San Diego if you want to go that route. But he's obviously in play in all formats. If you want to load up on Tatis over the Chicago White Sox guys on DraftKings, it's really not that big of a difference. There is more than enough value if you want to go Tatis. I just prefer a little bit more balance with the Chicago guys like I talked about. But if you want to go the cash route here, I definitely like going with Machado at 5,500. I think that's still a little underpriced for him for how awesome he has been lately. If we bring up his card, we just go to third base, we'll find him. He should be right here at the top. Third most expensive at third base tonight. So he's coming off no hits yesterday, but okay, so he got no hits yesterday. Still picked up a hit and a run. Still pick up 6 points. I believe that's like 8.5, 9 FanDuel points. I'll take that as a floor from, I know from our superstars we want more than that. But if he's still just getting out on his bad days, I'll take it. Because if you look at the last 10 games here, he's got a 500 on base percentage, 12 over a 1,200 OPS, and averaging like 13 DK points. So that's going to be around like 15 to 20 FanDuel points somewhere in there. So he's just been red hot. He crushes lefties. So I think he could actually be, somewhere in this range of top price player at the position. So I definitely like that. And his price 3,900 on FanDuel. Where is that in terms of other third basemen? Oh, I've just got White Sox here. Third base. So third most expensive. So that's not bad. I'm not really into Toronto. It's more of a GPP play. There are tons of upside. We know it. But they're very expensive. And facing a Tampa Bay team, McClanahan hasn't been great, but the bullpen has been good. So it's just not a spot where I see Toronto's upside hitting that 6. For Toronto, for how expensive they are, when you're playing these expensive teams where like 3 of the players that you want to target in the top 5 of the lineup are all like 5,500 to 6K or more on DraftKings, or say in like the 3,800 to 4,500 range on FanDuel, we really want that team, and especially the top of the lineup, if that's where those guys are situated, and generally that's where they're going to be. We really want 5 to 8 runs out of that team in the night for those. If you've got 5 of those guys in, or at least all expensive guys from that team, you are most definitely going to need a lot of runs for them to hit the points per dollar value to hit the top of a GPP. So that's kind of the way I look at that. That is why Toronto is a little bit off my radar tonight. So San Diego, I definitely like. Their lineup still doesn't come in. The Dodgers just come in. I'm going to update that once I'm done with the show here. I'm going to flip back and see if there's any more questions. No, thanks, Matt. This is great, Chris. I really appreciate it. Sorry if there is some blur here. I'm not sure if the internet's fully updated, but I know Starlink was doing updates today for us up here in Canada. So thanks for sticking around. We got over 10 people watching live. So this is the most we've had on the baseball show. I will continue to do this over and over every Monday and every Friday for this. And then Sunday morning, of course, join me for the NASCAR show. It is absolutely insane now because I am also on the DFSR baseball system in the morning. I know this week is a little bit better just because we don't have that mid-morning qualifying like we did last week, and I was doing 9 things at once. So join me for that Sunday morning. Again, it looks like we've got 43 people in the free roll already. That is friggin' fantastic, you guys. That means that many people viewed it. That means that many people came in. I really, truly appreciate it. I hope anyone that isn't a Patreon member comes over, gives us a try. Even just come sign up for a month. Give us a try. Come see what our team, me and Dane and Kenny and Ryan, can bring you. Just ask the guys in chat. I do have something coming as well for free trials as of August. I will be introducing a free trial where anyone can invite anyone into our Discord chat, can come in and check out some. They won't be able to check out our main channels, but there will be a channel for those free trials where we will have some copies of our sheets, for a limited time, as well as some information in there, screenshots from our main chats and stuff, just to kind of give you guys a feel. So come in and check that out because I really do appreciate the support. We're really trying to build a community. Absolutely love what we've got going so far. It's been an incredible start to this new venture with Patreon and Jagerbomb's Fantasy Sports now that I've brought the whole team together. So thank you to everyone that's been with me since January 2020 last year, stuck with me through the pandemic, through the shutdown of sports and absolutely everything. It's been amazing. Now through the shutdown of Roto Pros, you guys have crossed over and showed a ton of support to my Patreon and to Kenny and to Dane and to Ryan. You have no idea what it means. We're going to keep this thing going because it's absolutely fun to wake up every single day and do this as like my main career. So thank you very much. With that, before we go here, I wanted to talk about a few PrizePicks plays that I like. Someone asked me, my PrizePicks plays have been, outside of last night, of course, have been doing really good here lately. I play 2-play power plays, and then I'll take those 2 plays and I'll throw in a third play and do a flex play with that almost every single night. So I had someone ask me, your plays are great, and I don't mind tailing them or taking some of them and combining together, but I want to learn how to read your sheet a little bit better. Well, one, very, very soon, starting hopefully next week on Monday, I'm getting very close to introducing some PrizePicks research tabs on the sheet just to kind of narrow down just the PrizePicks stuff, because as you can see here, they do hits plus walks, runs plus RBIs, total bases, and runs here as well. So I want to put up some extra information just on its own tab just to kind of compare that stuff. So that's going to be coming. But the question was like, how do I go about making the plays that I provide you guys in chat? Okay, so first of all, everything that I just went over in terms of top stacks, it's really this easy on PrizePicks. I am looking for Minnesota, San Diego, Chicago White Sox first. Those 3 core teams in green. I'm looking for players on those 3 teams. That's number 1. So let's go through here. Let's see if this works today. Okay, so we said Minnesota. Oh, it does work. Awesome. Okay, so Minnesota. Well, how do they list Chicago White Sox here? Okay, San Diego. There. San Diego, Minnesota. So this up here, this is something I started using when I do multi-entry, mostly for NASCAR because it's the sport I multi-entry the most. It's called multi-highlighter, and literally it's just a search bar where you can search, and it's going to put exactly. What I'm going to do is I put the players and search so that when I get on DraftKings and I do like my lineups page and it lists off all your lineups and say you've got 20 in there, I can use this bar now and search the players' names and just see what percentage I have, or so I can easily point out the stacks. So if I want to stack 3 players and say Abreu, Moncada, and Anderson, I would search all 3 of them up here. And as I go through my DraftKings, I can easily see color-coded how many times I've got them together, how many times I've got 2 of the 3, how many times I've just got 1. Mostly, like I said, I use it for NASCAR because I multi-enter and I do it quite fast. So definitely try that. Okay, Padres lineup's out. So before I go any further, I just want to check and see if there's any changes. Nope. It's like I said, Ha-Seong Kim is in there in the number 7 spot. Other than that, everything is exactly the same. So San Diego, Minnesota. I don't think there are any White Sox on here tonight. They're just in such a good spot that PrizePicks, it looks like they left them off. So I first of all go to those teams like I talked about. So San Diego and Minnesota, we'll check them out. So for Minnesota, we got Larnach and Kepler. Generally, I don't want Kepler because he's down in the lineup. So that would be like my rule number 2. If we go look at Minnesota's lineup, he's down in the 7 spot. I try to stick to the top 5 on PrizePicks. If I am going with anyone, say even 5th is like my cutoff spot. So top 4, I don't care if they're at home or on the road. 5th, 6th, 7th, if you are stretching down to 7th, I like to make sure they're on the road, just simply because they are guaranteed the final at bat here as well. So Minnesota's at home. So Kepler is out for me on there. Larnach, I would consider going and looking at that matchup for Minnesota. He's hitting 3rd. Larnach would definitely be on my radar for here. And so as I go and find the players now and say, okay, on Minnesota, I really like Larnach. I'll just go open his game log. I really want guys with good on-base percentage because they're going to get those walks as well. If they're just hits guys, contact guys, you'll get a bad game out of them every once in a while. Sometimes you can get these guys with high on base percentage that will, they're going to give you a little bit higher of a floor for PrizePicks because they can get you 2 walks and you're still going to hit the over. So I generally am looking for overs in case you haven't noticed yet. It's just something that I track. I'm looking for guys that are getting hits on DraftKings and FanDuel. So it just kind of correlates it with my brain with that's the way I'm looking at PrizePicks as well. I don't, if you are looking for the unders and you want to target unders, very easy. Just look for players that are facing the good pitchers, or players that are down in the lineup like Kepler, maybe in a bad matchup. So keep that in mind as well if you're looking for unders. But I generally like overs. So he's gone over here in 4 of his that was a pinch hit game, so I'm not going to count that. 1, 2, 3 of his last 4, 4 of his last 5, 5 of his last 6. 5 of his last 6 he's gone over. So Larnach is definitely in play for me tonight on PrizePicks. He's going to be one of my plays. And then over on, so I don't mind any of these 3. Take any of these San Diego guys here. Machado would be my favorite. Not only has he been red hot, not only like the things I talked about, Freeland, he's been doing good against weaker opponents. He now faces San Diego, who's scoring runs in like bunches. So Machado's there. He has good BVP. I don't normally look at BVP. You'll never hear me talk about it more than like maybe 3 times in a season. It's a breaking point for me. It's not something I put in my model. There's excuse me. It's just very noisy data. We don't know some of this. Like, for instance, Manny Machado 7 for 21 versus Kyle Freeland. That could go back 5 years. 5 years ago, even 2 years ago. Pitchers change, especially pitchers, change pitches they throw. They change grips. They change game plans. We don't know if it rained those in that day. We don't know if Manny Machado or the pitcher were injured in those at bats. There's just too much that we don't know, not enough context. So I only use it as like, okay, I'm going against batter A versus batter B. How have they done? Or just confirming, like I said, he checks every single box I like to make him a top PrizePicks play for me tonight. So then I just went and looked at the BVP, seeing he's 7 for 21 with 3 home runs, a 417 on base percentage versus Kyle Freeland. So that just kind of icing on the cake, let's say. So don't ever label me as a BVP truther. Don't tell Doug at DFSR. He might just go ahead and fire me for even talking about BVP. So there's my 2 top plays, Larnach and Machado, overs. I'm probably going to run that in a 2-play power play. And then I like adding, let's go back. I just want to look at San Diego. So Grisham's hitting 5th at home. That is really pushing it to whether I would go that route. I would probably go Cronenworth, and something I wanted to look at with Cronenworth was his splits because it is a lefty-lefty matchup. Scroll over here. Yeah, it's a 110 WRC plus. Not a lot of power. Not worried about the power on PrizePicks here when you're doing the hits plus walks props. He doesn't strike out a lot. I love to see that. So Jake Cronenworth would be my 3rd if you want to go a 3-play flex. But for me tonight, my 2 most confident picks are going to be Machado and Larnach. And then, like I said, Cronenworth the 3rd. And then, I don't know. I'm kind of torn on a 4th. I'm probably just going to roll with those 3 tonight. Okay, so now jumping over to DFSR real quick. And I just wanted, before we look at some of the builds that I'm going to be using on this optimizer tonight, I just wanted to let you guys know, if you want to try out DFSR this summer, we've got some free trials going on for my patrons right now. We cover NBA, NFL, MLB, NHL, and PGA. That is our optimizers. They all look like this. They've all got filters on here as well. It's one price for all, but like I said, we've got a free trial up until the end of August going right now. Hit me up in the DMs in chat after, and I can help you out with that. And get you in contact with Doug to get that free trial and come over and check that out. I also help with the back end projections on all of this stuff too, 3 times a week for baseball. I help with PGA. I help with NFL, a little bit with NBA as well this season. I started getting into the NBA projections, and then I also cover NHL as well. So hit me up. I can help you out with that. So if you guys got questions on any of these filters or anything like that in this video, as I'm going over it for DFSR, just throw it up in the chat and I can help you out. So generally what I'm doing is I'm going to select the main slate. For DraftKings, I talked about my favorite pitchers. I went over my builds. Generally when I'm building one lineup, I am going with a hand build. But if you're going 20 max and I want to expand that, something that I will do I like taking my core pitchers back over to the DFSR tools here. There's Taiwan Walker. Something you can do, actually, and we're going to try it out here, is we are going to delete all the pitchers from the player pool, except for Walker, Morton, and Manoah. And I just want to see what that gives us. Okay, so we still need to lock. So what I would generally do if you are building a 20 max, I like running, let's say, 10 lineups. Pick your two favorites. Mine were Walker and Manoah. Run them. You can just go simply just run it like that. Download your CSV, load it into DraftKings. If you're in a hurry, that's just one way I would do it, and just roll with it. I do like some of the bats are in here. If you want to change up the bats and get a little bit more Minnesota, San Diego, Chicago White Sox, like I talked about, you can come over here. I do like Moncada. But let's just say you're in a hurry. You just want to lock your favorite pitchers and go. Boom, you can do that if you're doing 20 max. I would do this, like say you want to have a mix as well, but you want to control the mix. Walker and Maeda times 10. Go and upload those, and then maybe you want to go Walker and Manoah. You just want to do that 5 times. Go and run that. Boom, there's your lineups there. And again, you can change the randomness so that your player pool is a little bit larger. I like to keep it at 0 when I'm only building 5 or 10 lineups. If I'm building 50, I'll expand that and use that a little bit more. We can get into that in later videos as well. And then finally, say you wanted to go Morton and Manoah, or double pay up with Morton and Walker. You can do that as well. So you can go and build your own player pools. Another way to do it is just deselect all games, go in and choose the games that you want to target, the teams that you want to target. I didn't have Toronto, but you can do it that way. You can X the teams you don't like. You can X the players. You're going to see their values and stuff here. So there's a lot of different filters. Something else I will do, I use it a lot more in football season, and I'm going to be getting into the player lab a ton here in football season, is looking at these filters down the side. I generally am a lock my players for my sheet guy, but I love using this for football. Like I said, we're going to get into that a lot more. So if you got any questions in terms of DFSR, any of these tools that we covered on FanDuel, you don't have to make any decisions in terms of locking anyone. DK, that's just a bylaw that they have in place for anyone, with optimizers. You have to make a decision. FanDuel, you don't. You can just simply run the optimizer just by clicking optimize. And again, this is a great lesson for let's just run 50 lineups. It loves Taiwan Walker, makes a lot of sense. 9,500. He's got a 4 points per dollar value on this slate here on FanDuel. Taking a while to run the 50. If anyone's just kind of joining in, anyone hasn't got in the free roll yet, make sure to go get in that free roll. The link is above. I'm going to share it one more time here. Looks like we've got, I'm just refreshing. Let's see how many we've got in here. I've got it open up to 100. We're sitting at 50. So there's 100 more spots here, people. $50 e-gift card to Fanatics for the winner. I will double that prize if the winner is also a patron. So make sure to get in there, build your team. I give you guys all my top picks. If you got any questions, fire them off. If not, I'm going to wrap this up so I can finish my lineups here. Got about 20, 25 minutes to lock. If you got any questions, DFSR members, hit me up in here. Again, if you're looking for that DFSR free trial, hit me up in DMs. I can help you out with that and get you started with that. If you're looking for PrizePicks, if you're new to PrizePicks, looking to try it out, that is something I have loaded here. I am sharing a link here in chat as well. This link will take you to join up. You're going to get 100% deposit match up to $100 for your first deposit. And then you'll be able, this is for my patrons. So again, make sure to go to patreon.com/JagerBombs, grab that $10 a month for one sport for if you're just playing baseball, or $20 a month if you want to utilize multiple sports. We are currently up to 13 sports, absolutely crushing it. We're bringing more down the line, more showdown data, more PrizePicks data. The sheets that we have, we've already added. You may have not noticed a lot of the stuff, but we've put a ton of work into the back end so that, one, we can update them faster, which, two, in turn, will allow us to bring you guys even more content. We are super excited. Again, that's patreon.com/JagerBombs. join today. If there's no more questions, I'm going to wrap this up and I'm going to go make my picks. We'll see you guys in chat. And again, back for the NASCAR show on Sunday morning. I'm going to have to report back on the time, usually probably about 11 or noon Eastern time. Is when I will be targeting to get that going. I'm not exactly sure on the time of the race at the moment. And then again, Monday for the main slate, we'll be talking. Yeah, Eric, hit me up in DM. There might be, you want to get into the Discord chat. The sheet is shared directly in there. Patreon is having a few issues with patrons not being able to see all the sheets, so make sure to get into the Discord. And to get into the Discord, if you are a Patreon right now, you go to your settings, and then you'll see a Discord option. And in that Discord option, it will just say connect. So just click connect. It's going to ask you to log into your Discord account, and then you will be auto added into the correct channels, and you'll be able to get the sheet there until these errors are corrected. I'm not sure exactly why some people are seeing the sheet and some people aren't. But definitely get into Discord. We're fully transitioned over there. All the main information and sharing is happening in Discord now. The Slack chat's still open. So if you're not in the Discord yet and you've got questions and you were in the Slack chat, hit me up there. Hit me up in DM. I am open. Any RotoPros members that have not converted over to the Patreon Slack chat or the Discord yet, and still looking to, I've got that chat open still as well, and I will keep it open as long as RotoPros Slack chat is open. I don't know when it's going to be closed, but I will keep it open for you guys if you've got questions and still want to transition over. So make sure to check that out. If we don't have any more questions, let's go make some winning lineups. PrizePicks, FanDuel, DK, let's go, and I'll meet you in the winning picks later tonight. Thanks a lot, and have some shots.